Oh, it feels good. Oh, it feels good. We are back. We are back in Empire Total War. It's been a couple months, is it? Maybe a month and a half or so since we last set foot in this game, and with good reason, because it absolutely screwed me up the arse. So, yeah, we're back. I decided that I wasn't really feeling Rome. I really wasn't feeling it. It's overcomplicated. It is completely overly complicated. So we're back in something a bit more my level, a bit more simple, and we're going to see if we can do it all over again. We're going to see if we can take Scotland and make them the biggest, baddest empire the world has ever seen. So yeah, we're back. It's been a long time since we saw you, Mr. Paul Butterfield. It's been a long time since I've seen the British in Empire Total War. So it's yeah, it's good to be back. Oh yeah, I've missed this. I've missed this. The absolutely horrendous screen tearing and drop frames. It's just, yeah, we're back. We're back, baby. We are back. So yeah, not sure what to do immediately. I think last time we went and took over Norway. I think we're probably going to have to look to see what our diplomatic relations, well, actually not what our diplomatic relations are, but what everybody else's diplomatic relations seem to be. So, yeah, I think, probably best, well, you can try and take Iceland, but it's owned by Denmark, and Denmark are allied with Norway. This is the biggest problem, actually, starting this game, is everybody seems to be allied with everyone else, so it's trying to find a target who isn't allied. I think, the Dutch aren't allied with anybody. Oh yeah, United Provinces. That's the boys. Yeah, so they've not got any allies whatsoever. So I think that's why in the last time we played this, we actually went straight for them immediately. Because you see, everybody's got allies. Like the Danish are allied with Norway and Russia and Poland, Lithuania. Hanover allied with Great Britain, so we don't want to annoy them. Not yet, anyway. We can go and try and take Westphalia. Yeah, so it's either Westphalia or Holland. I think our best two targets at the moment. We don't really want to be taking on Spain, France, Portugal. None of this seems very nice to try and take on. So I think we need to find ourselves a small target. Prussia, possibly, although Prussia are quite large. They've got like 4 territories, but they have no allies. Where are they? Is this them? Yeah. So we could try and take one of these places, but it's possibly going to be a bit of a challenge. What about Dresden? Problem is we need to get there. That's the biggest issue, I think, is anywhere we take on, we're going to have to try and go through something. We could go after the Swedes. Given that the bastard Swedes have been around for a long time in our last... Yeah, you know what, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go and try and take on the Swedish. So, I think our first protocol is to build a massive army. What's our finances looking like right at the start? Trade, absolutely no trade. We're export... Oh no, we have got trade. That's alright, 1700 per turn. We could probably look at trying to get another trade partner somewhere. Alright, let's see if we can get Austria on board. Trade agreement? Any chance? What? That... Okay. What's just happened here is I've offered them a trade agreement, and they've turned around like, no, we're not having your trade agreement, but we'll have it if we give you military access and 2,500 coins. Because that's the sort of negotiation tactics that work out in the long run. Basically, saying no to something and then offering something for the thing that you could have got for free in the first place. So, yes, we'll happily have that. So, we've now got military access into Austria. Not that that's of any use whatsoever, because Austria are way over here and we're up here. So, like, I mean... basically pointless, but why you would even bother like giving us that in the first place? Like, that's just absolutely moronic. Anyway, I've missed this game. Right, so I think we're probably just best off to end turn here. We could probably do with building some... possibly upgrading our walls, because eventually we're going to be getting attacked by these bastards. Bloody Butterfield and who you... James Northcote. Yeah, they'll be sending themselves up here to try and take us over at some point. Usually pretty early on, I think they'll try and do that, because they'll try and quell the uprising of the Scottish, because they don't want that. So they'll probably come after us in a few turns. So we'll see what we can do. But I think first we'll end turn a ton and see if we can make a ton of money and a ton of soldiers. Oh, she's back. Shushed. Shushed! Told you to shushed. Right. Russia and Greece have fallen out, as have Russia and Denmark, as have Denmark and Norway. So everybody has fallen out. They're all declaring war on each other. War, 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 war. Actually, it was recruitment. Anyway, we have built ourselves our first wave of units. We've got 5 units in total. We'll get ourselves a general. What's his name? What's his name? Gavin Playfair. Oh, he's been around before. I remember your name. Yeah, what has that done actually for diplomatic relations? All these places declaring war on each other. Holland have actually declared alliance with Austria, which is a bit of a nuisance. Westphalia have also declared alliances with 3 other bloody places. Right, so either Norway or Sweden, because neither of them have allies. Sweden already have about 17 enemies, so that might be worth trying to capitalise on. I think before we went and took Norway, but Norway's a bit of a shithole, quite frankly. It's got 1 place, and it's absolutely tiny. So you produce absolutely no units, whereas I think if we can try and take Stockholm, we'd be in a much, much stronger location. So, because we took this before, and it was an absolute age to try and take anywhere else, because we could barely produce enough men here to actually, like, stage an attack on anyone else. So, yeah, if we can get a bigger place, that would make things a much, much easier proposition. Right, well, I think we're just going to have to end turn again. We'll just end turn until we've got ourselves an army capable, and then we'll float our way across to Sweden. Forgot how bloody long it takes to get through all of the... We've got to wait on, like, every bloody nation in the world, because all of our trade routes go everywhere. Everywhere that's near a trade route, we've got to watch them. So the Ottomans are willing to give us 1,400 coins in turn for a trade agreement, so we'll take that, because that benefits everybody. Oh. Portugal and Great Britain have now fallen out. We've got more wars being declared. Russia and Sweden, Spain and Great Britain, Sweden and Norway, and a bunch of units. And Ainsley Randall, the Crimper, has gained an auxiliary, whatever that means. So we've now got ourselves almost, well, in fact, over half an army. So I think 2 more turns, we shall recruit a bunch more people, and in 2 more turns, I think we need the drummers. We'll be ready to take on the world. Yeah, we also need some ships. That's a good point, actually, Stuart. We should get some chips, not chips, ships. Right. What should we get? We'll get a 6th rate and a 5th rate. Oh god, that's gonna take 4 turns. Screw that. Right, 1 ship. 1 ship it is. 2 turns, 1 ship. Good stuff. Right, end turn. I'm sure we can pack 2,500 men or whatever it's going to be on 1 ship. I don't think that's going to be any issue whatsoever. Right, so now Prussia and Austria have broken their alliance. We have more soldiers being recruited. I've got another auxiliary. And Saxony has already been destroyed. Somewhere over here somewhere. Right, so I think these guys are casually lingering around until we do something, and then they're probably going to try and take Edinburgh back off of us. But they really don't have that big an army, do Grand Britannia, because there's really not. Like, they've got 4 or 5 units there and 2 more here. That's just not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough to try and take anybody. So yeah, they're in a bit of a weird position, Great Britain, because you would think they would be in a strong position, but they're at war with France, I think. Are they at war with France? They must be at war with France. They were always at war with France, weren't they? Great Britain, who are you at war with? Everybody. Spain, France, Barbary Straits, because everybody's at war with the Barbary... I called them Straits again. States, and Poland, Lithuania. So, yeah, they're at war with everybody. Although they are allied with Austria, Russia. For some reason, they're allied with, like, the Native Americans. Not sure how that came about. And the Indians. Actually, it's a good point. What's the deal with India? I never really looked at India in the last... I was going to call it career mode. It's not really a career mode, is it? The last Empire series. So, when I last looked at it in the last series, it was like... Basically, the Marathas had half of it, and the Mughals had the other half. But it's much more... See, Great Britain have both of these. And that's the Dutch have that. And Mysore, Iroquois Confederacy. Afghanistan. We never even got to Afghanistan in the last Empire series. It's far too far away. So yeah, it's possibly worth having a look at. Maybe trying to take somewhere, possibly like Goya or Mysore, given that they're not really. They've only got one place. Although we need to have a look at their list of allies. As for America, it's a bit more. Yeah, quite a lot of. How have they managed to do that? So I'm pretty sure these Iroquois Confederacy are like Native Americans, and yet they have a place in India. How have they managed that? Oh well. I'm not going to question the logic too much. So yeah, there's quite a lot, like compared to what we were at when we had the last Empire series. There's a lot more going on, a lot more nations. I think previous we'd kind of got it down to about four big nations, and that was about it. So yeah, I think yeah, we're still just gonna have to keep ending turn here. We've got one more turn, and we'll have a full army, and then we'll be able to take our ship that will have been built here, and float our way across to Norway, or well, Sweden. I think we agreed on taking Sweden, so we'll do that in a turn's time. Right, we now have our ship, and we also have our army. So yeah, I'm not sure whether is it worth maybe waiting one more turn and building a whole load more units just to defend Edinburgh, because I don't really want to lose Edinburgh. It would be pretty poor if we start this and immediately lose all of Edinburgh because we've just taken all of our men and headed off to Scandinavia to try and take Stockholm. So that probably wouldn't be the best option. I'll bring our could we plunder trade routes? Who are we at war with here? Not that many. We're not at war with anybody, so it's basically pointless. So we'll bring our ships around to this side so that we're a bit more of a decent position to actually head across that direction. Yeah, so we'll wait one more turn, and then we'll load up the ships and start heading off to Sweden. Great Britain just declared war on Quebec. Norway has been destroyed, so the Swedish have already taken Norway. That's interesting. Right, so we're now going to try and take the Swedish. So we'll get our army, take all of these boys, led by big Gavin Playfair, stick them on the ship, and head over this direction. So it's going to take us a couple of turns. It's going to take us a couple of turns to get to Stockholm, but I don't know how many men they're going to have there. So it'll be interesting to see if they have a massive amount of men positioned there, or if it's just like one or two. It depends how much they've sent to try and take Norway. But it would be quite nice if we got there and they just didn't really have anyone. I'm convinced Great Britain are going to attack us at some stage, but they're in a very difficult position because they're effectively at war with literally everybody. Like, they're at war with Spain, Portugal. Is it Portugal they were at war with? They were at war with Spain, definitely, and France. And I think they're now at war with Quebec as well. So yeah, they just seem to be at war with everybody, and they're probably going to declare war on us at some stage because they think that we're small and insignificant. But then that's what they don't realise, is that we're actually massive. Well, not massive, not yet, but we will be once we take all of their land. Right, Stockholm, where you at? Well, we can almost make it. Almost. Can we see? Right. Oh, that's takeable. It's just town guard. There's nobody there. Our biggest problem we've got though is there's no port anywhere nearby. So if there's random Danish like ships just ransacking this port here, which is Swedish. But yeah, it means we're going to have to drop our men and walk. Well, it's going to mean that we're going to have to drop our men, wait a turn, and then walk. Alright, so the British have now got a pretty sizable army down next to London, so we probably should be building up our forces in Edinburgh to make sure that when they do attack us, that they can't take us. So in that last turn, a bunch of Swedish men have arrived back into Stockholm, but I think it's still very much takeable, so yeah, it's... Oh, well, there's now another army next to it as well. God damn it, why did you have to turn up? Well, I'm not really sure what best to do now. I was hoping to try and take Stockholm when there was nobody there, but there's now, well, more men than we've got, that's for sure. Although half of it's town guard, so it's potentially doable, but you take this army and they've still got a definite advantage over us, so yeah, this is going to be a lot tougher than I hoped it would be. Let's see if they accept that. Decent. Right, okay, so we now have military access into Sweden, so we'll just kind of position our men around here and see what they do. Hopefully they move away. That'd be quite nice if they were to all clear off, but it'll be interesting to say the least as to see what they decide to do. Hopefully there's no armies over here making their way back either, because that's just going to royally screw things even further. Right, can't say I didn't expect. We're just talking about this. Right, so Great Britain have finally declared war on us. We have France as our ally, who are already at war with Britain, so that's not really an issue. They are allied with an absolute butt ton of people. Portugal, the Marathas, Prussia, the Cherokee Nations, Russia, Iroquois Confederacy, and Austria. Ridiculous. Right, hopefully none of them join. Good, none of them joined. Right, okay, so we're now at war with Great Britain. France has joined us, which was pretty much a guarantee because the French were already at war with Great Britain. But we're now going to have to try and deal with... Oh, for God's sake. Deal with this. Now Poland want a military alliance. Right, actually, I'm going to take that because Poland are decent size. So, yeah, they're also at war with Great Britain, so helps us possibly a little bit. Right, these bastard Great British lads have raided Glasgow. So I'm thinking I might just run out and try and attack them. We should get ourselves a general first. What's his name? Edward Watson. Pronounced that in a really odd manner. Anyway, right, we'll try and see if we can take these boys out early. It's given us a pretty hefty advantage. I think we'll auto-resolve that. We do win. Oh my god, how is that a win? I mean, we still have a ton more men than them. Like, they lost almost all of their men. We've only got 158 remaining, but we lost about half of us. So that wasn't really a great win for us, but it has kicked them out of the country. We have finished building our walls in Edinburgh, which makes Edinburgh a much stronger location. Great Britain's cancelled their trade agreement, which, well, I mean, kind of expected, given that they're at war with us now. Not a lot. The Swedish have disappeared. One of their armies has disappeared. This one's slightly battle scarred, and although it's like they have quite a lot of men, almost half of it, about a third of it, is town guard. So we actually, I think, stand a decent chance here of attacking these guys and winning, given that we have cannons, grenadiers, like line infantry, which are always pretty good. So I think we stand a pretty solid job here of trying to take Stockholm. So let's see. Let's just declare war. We're allies. None. Okay. So we've not got any allies that they have. So it's basically just seeing who joins who. We'll call upon them. Austria, I think, have joined them, and Sweden and Georgia have broken their alliance. So that's yeah, they've decided not to join. Georgia decided not to join. But we are now at war with Austria and the United Provinces. However, France and Poland have both joined us in war with the Swedish. Right, okay, that's pretty close. It's pretty close. So I think I might have to fight this myself. We have slightly more men. We have about 150 men more than them. So it gives us a little bit of an advantage, but Nobody's reinforcing them, so I think we're probably in a pretty strong position. I think I might just set up my cannons and absolutely bombard them. So we'll do this ourselves and see if we can take Stockholm early on. That would be a very, very good take for us. Right, here we go. So, the welcome to Sweden. This is Stockholm. It's very small. Again, I'm not sure if we're just fighting in a fort outside Stockholm. I'm guessing that over there's Stockholm. But yeah, seems a bit weird that we're just kind of casually fighting in a fort. Like, surely if that's Stockholm and all of the Swedish army are inside here, why don't we just walk over this direction, around here, and just walk and go and take Stockholm? Like, is this, like, what is this? Like, why are we fighting over here when that's the city we're trying to take? Like, we could just go over and just take over all the buildings and just, like, kick everyone out. Like, these guys are going to have to come over and fight us at some stage. Anyway, right, so I think our best option here, given that we've got a bloody mound in front of us, is there a better angle? Is there a better angle? Possibly here. Might be worth setting up our cannons and just absolutely bombarding the bejesus out of these Swedish walls, flat pack walls. I think the majority of my army I'll just put in these trees here. See if we can lure the enemy to possibly come out and try and attack us, and then before they know it, they've got an absolute ton of men shooting back at them from inside these trees here. So I think if we position our men, yep, they're all hidden. Good stuff. All of our cavalry and our couple of units here, just as a sort of like, look at us, this is all we've got sort of thing, and then they'll come charging out of here, possibly, maybe, and they'll come running across, and then all of these lads will pop up and be like, "Hoi, you thought, didn't you? You thought you had us, but you didn't." So yeah, we'll I think just absolutely bombard these walls. Meanwhile, we've got some units casually hiding over here, and we've also got all of our units casually hiding over here as well. So we'll see what the wild Swedes decide to do with this. They have a bunch of cavalry casually hanging out on the center spot. We've already done 6% damage, a whopping 6% damage. I've actually done more damage to this bloody triangle at the end than we have the actual wall that I was aiming at. Oh, we've knocked off their big... Oh, it's disappeared. Oh, we've started knocking bits off the wall. There's quite a few dead folk on that wall as well. 96%. One more hit. One more should do it. There we go. Got ourselves a hole. Quality. Right. So they're now all making their way down here to, I don't know what they're going to do. Jam the hole? I think what we probably are better doing now is taking our cannons, lumbering up. Is it? It is limber. I've been calling it lumber. God damn it. Been doing that for fucking months. Oh, the cavalry's coming. The cavalry are making their way. They have no idea that we have an absolute ton of men sitting inside these wooded areas here. So if we send our horses over this direction, they've stopped. They're thinking, yeah, they're thinking about attacking us, but they're not really committed to it yet. If you guys could deploy some spikes. They've just run straight into the cavalry spikes. What a bunch of morons. Oh my god. They had absolutely no idea what they were doing. They came zigzagging their way across here because they didn't know who to attack. They thought about attacking us, then they saw the cavalry spikes, they're like, oh, we'll go over this direction. Then we're getting shot from all the people in the forest, and they were like, oh no, we've got loads of folk over there. And then they just ran straight into our cavalry spikes, and they all died. What a bunch of absolute idiots. Oh well, right, okay. So that's one group of cavalry gone. We'll limber ourselves up again, and we'll start making our way back towards the breach, and see if we can absolutely murder these guys as they come out one at a time. Oh, a bunch of them are running out. They're finally running out. Right, so they've reached our cannons. I wasn't really hoping this would happen, but they've somehow managed to reach our cannons. We are canister shotting the absolute shizzle out of them, and they are now running away. Excellent. So a win for us. This canister shot is absolutely ruining them. So we're now trying to take these guys out. If the canister shot here could also try and take these guys out because they're about to attack them. Right, we're going on a suicide mission, lads. Charge them. And grenades. Grenades. Go. Launched. Absolutely launched. You've missed them all, haven't you? Yep, you've absolutely, completely missed them all. These guys are about to get absolutely done. Alright, okay, we just canister... No, stop firing, you bellends! Canister shot our own bloody men! Right, well, I can't say... I can't say that I didn't expect that when they were running towards us and these guys hadn't fired yet. Right, it looks like they're about to bring a bunch more men out of the breach. Pikemen, so not sure what they're going to do. They've changed their mind. That's all they've got left is a bunch of pikemen, actually, so they're not going to do very much. I've got the grenades. Oh my word. They just got done. Okay, no, wait. Actually, yeah, drummers, get in there. Go on, boys. You're always good for a laugh. Right, okay. They always do really well as well, which is really surprising. It's the most surprising thing about the drummers is that they actually do kill a bunch of men. Although not when they're getting shot in the back by their own bloody cannons with canister shot. Seriously, lads, think about it. Anyway, yeah, I think. Oh, we've been flanked. We've been royally flanked by a bunch of cavalry. So if you could go and murder all of them. Well, they're falling very quickly, and they're now going to run away. There's only like 23 of them left. Right. Well, they made a big mistake when they tried to attack us. But I think I'm going to try and climb the wall here, and I think I'm going to take these guys. And I'm going to try and climb the wall over this side as well. Our drummers are still faithfully chasing down the enemy, as are the grenadiers, which I didn't ask them to do. So you can get back. Right, well that canister shot just absolutely riddled all of our Serbians. Racist bastards, honestly. Just because they're Serbian doesn't mean it gives you a free rein to just shoot them in the back of the head. Honestly, boys. Idiots. Right, anyway. We're going to get in here and we're going to try and secure this center spot before these guys realise what's happening. They're getting completely done in on the wall over here, and they are also getting done in on the wall over here. What are you? Some hunters? Look at them with their bloody axes and their... What are these guys? What are these guys? They've got a bunch of axes and some hoods. Well, they're not going to last very long, I don't think. Right. If these guys could maybe get out of square formation now and make your way in the gate. It's just these cannons, really. Everybody else is seemingly running away. They're all running away. Literally all of them are running away. We have managed to secure Stockholm. Heroic victory. Heroic! It wasn't that heroic. I mean, to be fair, it was pretty poor tactics on the Swedish side. They just kind of stood around and took a bombardment of canister shot. Wasn't really a great showing by Harald Jussi. Yeah, we managed to murder all of them. And they killed 480... Actually, no, they only killed 256 of us. We killed the other 230 odd. 28 or so other men were killed by us, and that was mainly our bloody cannons, canister shotting us in the back of the head. So we've already secured ourselves Stockholm. Madness. Absolute madness. We're going to have to repair all of the buildings before everybody gets massively upset about it and starts rebelling, which is pretty normal in this game. As you can see, public order is absolutely atrocious. We're not even taxing them, and they're still absolutely raging. So that's something we're going to have to deal with in the short term. But we've had ourselves a pretty successful beginning of the second coming of the Scottish Empire. It's been it's been a bit of a long drawn out episode, but we've managed to make sure that we haven't lost Edinburgh yet. The British came across, ransacked bloody Glasgow, so we've seen them off, sent them back to Ireland, and there's this army down here, which is I think the biggest threat really, because Dublin, there is quite a few men over this direction, not massive, like 3 or 4 units that were sent back, but they have the ability to build men over here and bring them back. So I think that was what happened before, was they were just bringing like 1 unit at a time or so. So we're just going to have a constant flow of people coming from Dublin, but I think this is our biggest foe, is this army down here led by big Paul Butterfield, and we're going to have to try and make sure that we don't lose Edinburgh anytime soon. We've improved our walls, and we also have a castle being built, so that should be pretty strong. And we now have Stockholm as well to try and build off of. So we've got ourselves already a second very strong city, because I think before we had Norway, and as I said before, Norway is an absolute waste of time. It doesn't really do much at all. Whereas having Stockholm, it's going to be very tough for the Swedish to try and take Stockholm back off of us again. So yeah, I think we've had a very successful first episode, and if you've enjoyed it, then be sure to hit that thumbs up as well. That'd be absolutely amazing. And yeah, if you're new around here, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with everything I do. And I'll catch you guys next week when we'll try and take something else. I'm not sure. We're at war now with the bloody Dutch, so we'd be as well trying to take Amsterdam at some stage. But we're first of all going to have to make sure that we get rid of these bloody British from trying to take Edinburgh. So yeah, I'll catch you guys next week. Until then, cheerio.